On the final day of the calendar year, welcome to Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm JB Long with DeMarco Farr and Stu Jackson. As we know, the Rams are 11-5. They've lost back-to-back games for the only time this season. And I feel bad for all of them, all of us, but especially Stu, because, man, you rewind time a couple of weeks, he was on top of the world. He had the number one team in the NFL, the number one team in college football. Now, what do you know it? The Rams are playing for the 5 seed, and you're going to a dreary Rose Bowl. Sorry, buddy.
That's okay.
As long as you win. As long as you win.
He's in the Rose Bowl. He's happy. Come on, regardless of weather.
Indiana's in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I have the ability to go, and the Rams are still playoff bound.
All right. Well,
thank you, Stu.
Happy New Year, fellas. Let's get the remnants of 25 behind us. Let's put the Falcons' loss in the rearview mirror shortly. And let's get on to all of the ambitions we have ahead in 2026. It was a good year for you, my friend. I'm proud of you.
What did I do?
A lot of good stuff.
You think
in
so?
2025, yeah.
I'm just trying
you
to
feel that way?
No, I'm just trying to keep up with you and the rest of the crew and this football team. Look, it's not work if you love what you do every day. So it's been fun. This has been a great year watching this football team get nothing but better. You hit some adversity. But to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to go through something like this. So you'd rather win the football games to learn, but sometimes you have to lose to move forward. So we'll see what happens from here on out. But it's been a heck of a 2025. Yeah.
Regular season finale on Sunday. Chance to sweep Arizona. Hopefully not the last time we get together at SoFi Stadium. That will depend largely on Saturday night. We'll lay out the scenarios in just a moment. But I did find one silver lining to the last 2 weeks, which have been tough to stomach. You know what it is?
Blocked field goal. No.
That's a silver lining, but that's not where I'm going with this. At least you were never put in the position where you had to root for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Praise be.
Absolutely.
You got to be Caleb Williams Bears fans for a moment, and it nearly worked out last weekend. Yeah. And now, I don't know about you, but I've reached out to all of the Seattle Seahawks fans in my network, and I've wished them a happy new year and a great weekend ahead.
Go for it. Go get them. Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard. I don't think I would ever want to or will ever root for that team up north. And I mean the Bay Area. But go Hawks.
If Seattle wins in Santa Clara on Saturday night, and neither team is happy that that game is being played on Saturday night, the Rams can still get the 5 seed. They would be going to Carolina or Tampa on the wild card weekend. But if San Francisco wins, then the Rams will sleep on Saturday night, trapped as the 6th seed. That means they're going to Philly or Chicago. Stu, do you think Seattle can beat San Francisco?
It's going to be tough, especially on the road, but I definitely think they've got a chance. The way their defense has been playing, as we obviously saw firsthand, and just the way that offense seems to be clicking as well, I do think they have a real shot to pulling it off Saturday night.
I agree with him. Have defense will travel, and it doesn't matter how we feel about their quarterback. They believe in their guy. So here they are. Everyone thought that it wasn't possible for Seattle to be this good with Sam Darnold as their quarterback. You are what your record says you are. So, yeah, they can absolutely go in and win this football game.
The winner of that game will be the 1 seed. So if you were to project an opportunity to play in the NFC Championship game, okay, the Los Angeles Rams are going on the road a step away from the Super Bowl. Would you rather be going to Lumen Field or Levi Stadium?
I think I would pick Levi Stadium. It's close. The favorable weather. It's still California. In Seattle, you're not sure what you're going to get, and that's their environment up there. They're going to be more ready for it than you are. So I would pick Levi. I think that's the easy choice, right?
I'd probably go with Levi's too, but I don't know. Just they've shown they've been able to beat both teams or have been capable of beating both. But yeah, for all the reasons you said, I'd probably lean.
We might need to restart this show. I just led you guys into a terrible trap. If the Rams are going to Seattle, what does that mean, DeMarco?
The Niners got knocked out.
Come on.
You got me again. Oh,
come on.
Yes. Okay. Reverse that. Yeah.
All right. So full disclosure, we're taping this on Wednesday morning, right? So we don't know what Sean McVay is going to step to the podium after practice today and say with respect to some health updates, Stu, or even the point that he left us with on Monday night, which is starters are going to play Week 18, which, you know, if there's nothing to play for, air quotes on nothing, right? If you're trapped as the 6th seed going into Sunday, it would be against his nature, I think, to play starters. So are you buying that if that's how it plays out this weekend?
I think so. Just the tone that he had in his response to that question tells me that with the way that unit has been playing, especially the last two games, I don't think he made it sound like there's not a luxury there of, say, playing the starters for half or resting them and going into the playoffs with full health. I think he would rather be in a situation where they recapture their rhythm and clicking on all cylinders and all of those things. Rather than rest them and maybe potentially risk any rust. I don't know. I mean, that rest, obviously, you guys would both know, hasn't really been too much of an issue. Mm-hmm. They've still managed to play well when they've taken that approach before. But I still, based on what he said Monday night, I still think the starters will end up playing, just if only to help them, like I said, reestablish that rhythm and consistency.
Again, here's hoping it's a moot point and
Right.
that there is a lot of motivation to play for on Sunday. But DeMarco, if that's not the way it goes, you still think right move.
Absolutely. If I'm Sean McVay and I'm telling my guys that, okay, we're going to dress, we're going to play. First of all, we're practicing in pads. Whether that happens or not, who knows? But we're going to play against Arizona. And if I start to hear grumbles or grunts, I just turn on the video of the first half of Monday night and say, this is why. If you want days off, if you want games off, if you want to take the pads off and watch a game as a playoff contending team, you can't put that on video, because it does not matter if we get rest. If we play like this, we'll be one and done. So I would get as much work as I possibly could, offense, defense, everything, especially on defense.
So if I'm saying, well, wait a second, this doesn't add up for a head coach and a franchise that's changed the model across the entire National Football League. He's 7-2 in Week 1 games, for instance, right? Where he said preseason doesn't matter. We can be at our best when the moment happens. And one of those two losses was in overtime in Detroit, right? So, but you're saying, because of the state that the Rams are in and some of the film they've put out there, this is different than August, September, where you've maybe had some good joint practices, you've put in good work, you're feeling good about the product you're bringing to the field.
Right. If, like, going back to when I was playing, if you wanted off of a preseason game, then you better give a good effort during those 2 days and earn the right to miss some reps. But if you're not giving a coach confidence that we have the right intensity, that we know what we're doing, then he should play you as long as he needs to until he feels comfortable. And if we know this team the way we think we do, you should have to stop them from going out there on Sunday. The last game you put out there, Bijan Robinson is still running. Matthew Stafford threw 3 picks, and you lost a football game that you could have won. So if we know this team like we think we do, then those players should want to play versus Arizona.
I think they do. And look, I'm happy to not be making this decision. Like, Sean McVay knows his team and what they need better than any of us. So when that decision is made, if it's been made already, great. And part of the struggle is you don't know until Saturday night. So the hay's in the barn by then. So you can't go out there and have Jimmy Garoppolo install this game plan, even though you can win with Jimmy on Sunday, because you might be playing for the 5 seed and you want Matthew Stafford out there. But I also think there's a school of thought where if it doesn't go your way Saturday night in Seattle, San Francisco, and you wake up Sunday morning with nothing to play for, again, I don't know the health status, but if Alec Jackson can't play left tackle on Sunday and you're trapped as a 6 seed, I don't know that I want Matthew Stafford playing on Sunday.
Right. Based on Monday, I'm right there with you.
I don't think these Rams need live reps against the Arizona Cardinals at SoFi Stadium on Sunday to go win a Super Bowl. What I know they need to do to win a Super Bowl is have Devontae Adams and Alec Jackson and Kevin Dotson and Quentin Lake and on and on and on. They need those guys right. That's what I think matters. That's what moves the needle.
With you. On that side of the ball, absolutely. On the other side, everybody's playing. Yeah, absolutely. Go back out there and reclaim what you lost. What Bijan just carried 93 yards away from you.
Including Braden Fisk, because I need Braden Fisk to be playing like Braden Fisk
no,
in January.
If you've got a legit issue, like if you need the rest, then take it. That's what this is about.
Which
Be
is always
smart
the
there.
case. You're never going to...
Smart.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're 100% and you left that game walking, if you got on the plane and you could, walk up and not hobble up, then you should be playing versus Arizona.
The Eagles, for what it's worth, seem like they're going to rest Jalen Hurts in their starters. So if for some reason that is your opponents in Wild Card Weekend, that's a little bit of context for what this Sunday will bring. All right, we've danced around it, but let's recap Monday Night Football, shall we?
Yeah.
For me, it's the only clunker of the season. It's not the only loss of the season, but I've said multiple times that what I've loved about this group, and really the Sean McVay era, is more often than not, more reliably than any team in the National Football League, they bring it when it's their turn. I don't think they brought it Monday night. I don't think the head coach felt like his team brought it Monday night, and that was the disappointment and the frustration.
Yeah, the first half was surprisingly flat, I think, is that fair?
Oh, yeah.
Just not at all, what I expected to see at least. And again, I think kind of like what you were just talking about, that's part of the reason why I think, why you could make an argument for, playing those guys Sunday against the Cardinals, regardless of what the circumstances are. But just not the offense we were used to seeing, regardless of the available personnel. And there was, something to be said for the resilience shown in the second half, but really just too deep of a hole that was dug in the first half, which was really shocking and surprising.
No, I give them a lot of credit because that game did get away from them, and they could have packed it in, and it could have gotten worse. But they found a way to get back in it. I thought Jared Verse, of all people, like you said, the one guy that you could pick from that side or the team outside of Matthew Stafford to make a play to get you back in it, I thought was special. Puka Nacua and the way he's playing and the way he went beyond himself, even to make an attempt on getting some of these passes that were called incomplete. That guy is playing a different brand of football, and they have awards for people like him, and I hope he gets the recognition. But it's human nature, man. There's been a lot going on since Thursday, since Seattle, a lot mentally. You're going through the holidays. You were due for a one where you come out flat. But they did wake up. So there are some positives to that. You could be proud in the fact that they fought their way back in that. But like you said, too much, too soon, too early, and you had no answer for what they were throwing at. Zach Robinson, your game plan is simple. They can't tackle him today. Give him the football as much as possible, right? Raheem Morris on defense, I thought, did a pretty good job of scouting and making the Rams sing for their supper. But like you said, if the personnel was different up front, that entire game is different. But you have to live with that.
And that's why I don't put a ton of stock in it. It's not to say I'm not frustrated or disappointed or discouraged. It has ramifications. But what do you take away from Monday night? For me, not a whole lot, because the team that played Monday night and the way that they played Monday night, that's not the team that's going to go chase a Lombardi trophy this January. And if it is, they don't have a realistic hope of winning that Lombardi trophy, right? So without Devontae, without Alaric, without K-Dot, without Quentin Lake, I'm not excusing the performance, but I'm not letting it change my perception of what this team is capable of.
No doubt. And I would just say this, and it may not be personnel-wise, and even if you get all those guys back, a game could look just like that in the postseason. It could be that ugly. It could be that muddled. It could be that messy, but you have to find a way to get over the top of it, and you almost did it. So I think it was a test of their mettle, and they came up just a little bit short. But if you get all your guys back, I think you wouldn't be in that situation to begin with. But every game from here on out could look just like that, and you may have to find a way to win it just like that.
If it does, then my concern is twofold: trenches and tackling. Because in the last month, from where they were to where they are now, I don't think the Rams are winning consistently at the line of scrimmage, personnel factors withstanding. And the tackling is an issue. And I don't know how you change that at the new year.
No, it is. And outside of Arizona, but count them too because they're on your schedule. Every team you're going to play is going to be good and can run the football. And one thing I do know about playing defense this late in the year, it's not about theory. It's about you're going to have to go through some physical pain. It ain't going to be fun. You're not going to be smiling from here on out. The only time you smile is when you see confetti. It's going to be painful, it's going to be hard, and you're going to have to commit to everything. You can't just lay down in front of Bijan or any running back and expect him to trip over you. You're going to have to bring him down. You're going to have to hit him. And if you don't, he's out.
And that's where, again, not to excuse what happened on Monday night. You're the only one who can speak to this. But that building and that moment does not compare to a playoff win-or-go-home atmosphere.
No.
The emotional state of the human beings playing that game, maybe Seattle felt similarly, and so when you give up 3rd down and 16, that doesn't check out. But it's not that Bijan's not going to be in the postseason. It's that those stakes, that emotional edge, that's not how you're going to be playing playoff football.
No, but you got to bring the physical with it, and Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer, and Ray Lewis have said it, and he speaks for all defensive players. We're going to find out who really wants to play football today when it's cold outside, and you got to go through somebody. Are you going to reach out and grab and try to arm tackle, or are you going to bring it? And you know at the end of that, it's going to be painful. That's what it is, and that's what was lacking in certain situations against the Falcons. But like I said, I'm glad it happened on Monday night versus in January on the road, because now you know, or you have a really good understanding of what it's going to be like from here on out. It's not just about getting there in theory and tagging off. It's about getting ready for impact. It's about bringing people to the ground, period, and physically.
Has your confidence in the defense been shaken? What used to be the number one scoring defense in the National Football League? Now they've given up 99 points in the last 3 weeks.
I think a lot the explosives that they'd allowed, especially in the passing game, has impacted the ceiling a little bit. I mean, I think if they limit those, they play closer to their potential or their ceiling they've shown all year as a top 10 unit. But I'm still confident in this pass rush. The secondary has shown an ability to make plays when it's mattered. Again, it hasn't it hasn't looked the best the last 2 games necessarily, but I still have faith in that group being able to get it right. Still have faith in the pass rush. But those are some things. The explosives especially is something I think needs to get corrected.
Have I lost faith or confidence? No. You still have a lot of talented players, and there's a lot of football left. But I am curious how you respond this Sunday versus Arizona, and what you do from here on out. And maybe there might be some things you can do schematically. Like you said, every offense, every coach, every play caller, you're going to have tells, and you're going to have things that you always do by rote, and they're getting paid on the other side to pick you apart and find things. So you may have to throw some things at teams that they haven't seen before and that you haven't run. But the one thing you have to do is be on the same page. And we would say this is an old defensive proverb, and it still holds true. Your first step is for the defense called, and then after that, it's go play ball. So whatever Chris Shula calls, whatever they're trying to run, your first 2 steps are for your responsibility, and then go find the football. And it's all 11. So that's the one thing that he cannot control. He's on the sideline. You're out there. It's pursuit. And the only way we're going to stop this dude and get him on the ground is if we work together. It can't be one guy miss and off to the races.
I'll ask you for some positive takeaways in just a second, but I'll summarize my feelings this way. I still believe firmly that the Rams are 4 good weeks away from being world champions again. They're 4 good game plans. They're 4 good weeks of preparation. They're 4 weeks of execution away from winning the 4 games that matter most. Nothing from Monday night changes that for me. But I now go into the postseason with a dose of, however, it's been good, maybe good to be reminded of the fact that they're also 1 bad rep, 1 mistake, 1 missed call, 1 blown assignment, 1 missed tackle away from being on vacation too. And that's going to be true of any team that's playing in January. But I don't think it's necessarily the worst long-term to be reminded of that afresh here in week 16 and 17 as you turn towards win or go home territory.
Well, I think especially the missed calls part of it too. I mean, part of the thing, one of the things I guess that I think about is just like not putting yourself in a position where that affects the outcome. Like there have been enough self-inflicted mistakes that you've made that's been part of the circumstances of these losses. And so if you can just have that mental fortitude and resiliency and just avoid the mistakes that have put you in those positions, again, especially in those losses, that's going to help quite a bit, especially in the postseason.
No doubt. 2 weeks ago, or was it a week ago, Coach McVay said, we're not victims. And that's the way you coach it. Hey, we're not going to get a break from anybody. It's all about us, period. We got to win against them and them. That's just how it goes. And we can't worry about the calls or not getting calls. We have to overcome it. So right there with you. But that comes from within. And that could also be a part of your battle cry going forward. It is just about us. We're not getting help. And if we don't play the way we're capable of, we could be one and done. And I hope that rings in your head from Atlanta to now.
Sure. I jotted down 2 big picture takeaways, but I'll throw it to you guys first. In the disappointment of that flight home, what did you find yourself reflecting on? Like, okay, maybe this plays long term, something that I didn't know or didn't appreciate.
Special teams,
absolutely.
Like if that game had gone, if the result had been what we all wanted, I would have hoped that Ben Kawika would have been the first person to get tossed a game ball from Sean McVay, because that was how strongly I felt about how that phase of the team was performing, just between not even just Jared Verse's 76-yard blocked field goal return for a touchdown, but you also had Jordan Whittington and his long kickoff return that gave the offense good field position at one point. Just across every phase of special teams, I felt like that was the best performance that I had seen in terms of that unit being fully complementary to the other 2 phases, even though again, there were moments where offense and defense didn't hold up that end of the bargain, obviously, where, we didn't see it at that level in previous weeks or previous games, win or lose, I would argue.
I don't know if there's a word.
Make it up.
Stick-to-itiveness,
It is now.
your fight-backedness. Like when the game was getting away from you and it just kept piling on and piling on, you didn't quit. You found a way to get back in it, and you scratched and you clawed and you strained for that effort. That's the stuff I love, and I'm glad the special teams held up their end of the bargain. At this point, we shouldn't be talking about special teams if you have designs on winning a Super Bowl, but it is what it is, and it settled, and you got one of the biggest plays in the game from special teams. But I just like the fact that it was going bad for you in Atlanta, and you refused to go away. It got nervous. It got scary in there for Atlanta. All their energy was sapped when you seized momentum. That is hard to do from a team that's up 3 scores, the big one, 21-0, and you took it back and you put a scare into them and you almost pulled it off. That's the stuff that you can't teach. That goes beyond coaching. So I still love this team. I love the makeup of this team. I don't know if it's a word. I'm going to call it fight backedness.
Yeah.
There. Is that a word?
No, I think
just
those
made
are
it
good
up.
ones.
Yeah.
Counts.
I agree with both of those. Stu's, yours was obviously number one on my list. Special teams improvement, by far the best performance, and it was from the opening jump. Even forcing that fumble on the opening kickoff, you could tell, oh, this is different. The only thing I didn't like is giving up the touchback to set up the Falcons' go-ahead field goal. I hate surrendering the 35-yard line in that moment, knowing that in a tie game you're maybe one good kick away from losing. The other thing is, because the draft day trade was a talking point going to Atlanta, just to kind of close the loop on that, I know the Falcons feel great about how that played out for them and their 2 first-rounders and the pass rush production that they've gotten from those guys. Awesome. Here in LA, Terrence Ferguson would have been worth pick 26. He's playing like pick 26. I'm glad they got him at 46, and when you combine T. Ferg with the first rounder that they'll get in a couple of months, feel great about that. That delay gratification and the now gratification both looks good to me. I think Terrence Ferguson continues to set the offensive ceiling for this team.
Right there with you. How do I say this while these other guys are still in uniform? Whatever tight end records that are there, he's going to threaten them all, especially the receiving ones going down the field, because there's a lot left there for him, and he's accepted the physical part. That's what I love. He's really earned his reps by blocking, which is so important. Even receivers in this offense have to earn their stripes by going in and blocking. So he's earned that. He's got some scars there, and then he's allowed to do what he does best, which is take advantage of mismatches. A year from now, 2 years from now, that trade's going to look lopsided, I believe. But I mean, if you're Atlanta, you're happy. Those guys can rush. And if you look at it from a Rams perspective, you don't need edge rushers. They did. So they got better, you got better, but 2 years from now, you're going to be like, wow, that was a hell of a trade.
All right, the other sidebar to that game that I want to circle back to is the MVP conversation. And it kind of goes with my feeling about the Rams. I think the Rams are still the best team in professional football. Can I prove it right now in this moment? It got harder. I still think Matthew Stafford's the MVP. Can I make the case in as good a faith as I would have been able to going into Monday night? It got harder. I think Puka is the offensive player of the year in the National Football League. That I can prove, and that I'll still stand on. But my question to you guys is, does it feel like Matthew lost that MVP on Monday night?
Probably. I know he lost some steam. It's going to be hard to say that's the MVP based on what Drake May just did, 5 touchdowns, and you yank him in a game versus the Jets, and the Jets aren't very good, but you pull him after his 5th touchdown pass, and then Stafford has 3 picks and 1 hits the end zone for a pick 6. It's going to be hard to say that's the MVP and that's not. I get it. But if you look in totality, would you want any other quarterback under center for you right now other than Matthew Stafford? Exactly. Then that answers the question. Now, does he do enough to win the pageantry of it? Probably not based on that performance, but everyone that watches football knows this guy is the very definition of MVP.
I would hope that, like you said, the totality of his and overall body of work that he's had this season would, be as influential as it should be. I would also hope that, just the numbers that he's put up in what I would argue has been the most competitive division in football this season would also carry some weight. And so I do agree that I think it made his case maybe slightly more challenging just in terms of recency, but I hope that overall, like, when people look at all of the games that he's played, that all those things are still part of the conversation.
Because if that game is buried in week 5 in the 10 a.m. window,
right,
without a left tackle, without a right guard, without Devontae Adams, like if you just take the body of work and you rearrange some of those performances, he's the front runner and maybe the runaway favorite for MVP in my mind. And I'm fine with the closing stretch weighing more. But if we're going to go down that road, then can we stop giving Pro Bowl awards out before week 17? Like, those things to me are incongruous. That bugs me.
Yeah. One other thing I would say too is he also put that team in position to, potentially win Monday night. He was, I would argue, still a part of them rallying and potentially winning that game. He did throw the game tying touchdown pass, right?
I was going to go harder on this if things had gone his way and the Rams' way on Monday night, but I still want to put it out there because it would be somewhat fitting if he doesn't win it, if it does go to Drake May, who's also deserving. But that would kind of be a microcosm of the 17-year Matthew Stafford career and experience, right? Always deserving, never quite getting his flowers. And to that point, I just want to put this down on record too, because it's still not updated on his Wikipedia page or his Pro Football Reference page. He is a 4-time Pro Bowler. 4, not 3, 4. He came to LA with 1 as a Lion. He's won 3 here in Los Angeles. The league retroactively gave him 1 for the 2021 season when he would have been a replacement, but he was too busy, as you might remember, winning the Super Bowl. Okay? So I think Pro Bowls are largely nonsense, should not go into like, are you or are you not a Hall of Famer? But 5 years after he retires, I hope that the record is set straight and he's awarded his trophy case appropriately. Just like, for crying out loud, it's been 17 years. It's Matthew, guys. It's Matthew. It was always Matthew. It's always been Matthew. He's an MVP candidate.
Yes.
It's not Matt.
Just Matt Stafford was easier to say.
I really, just like really wanted the 1 seed for this team because it was the box that McVay's Rams have yet to check. And I knew they were capable of getting it and all the benefits that would come from it. I really wanted the MVP for Matthew Stafford so that it was clean cut, and 5 years after he retires, he gets his gold jacket. There's no debate. I wanted it for him, for his family, for his legacy. And maybe he still will get it. If he doesn't, you know what I want more? Super Bowl MVP.
Ooh.
and I don't mind at all if, in the mind of the Staffords and the Rams, that's Drake May's award for the time being. We'll find out Super Bowl week. But I like the Matthew Stafford that plays with the chip on his shoulder and the axe to grind, and I hope, for all intents and purposes, that he plays as if Drake May is the MVP from this point forward. And I'll go all the way in and say, let's speak this into existence too. I want Matthew to win that Super Bowl MVP at Levi's Stadium against Drake May and the New England Patriots. Because if you have been a lifelong Rams fan, tell me what would be better than raising a Lombardi trophy against the Patriots in the barn of the 49ers. DeMarco, you're the longest tenured of us.
Bars. That would be everything. Yes. I'm trying to contain myself right now. That would be awesome. That would say a lot. And that would be so Matthew Stafford of it. And you're right. You should have to pause and say his name correctly. Put some respect on that. Matthew Stafford. If that actually comes down, that would mean more than a regular season MVP if you get the capper in their house versus that guy who's carrying that.
Because that's
hardware.
how you clean it up.
Awesome. Oh, that would clean it all the way up.
That's how you go from like getting in and being a deserving Hall of Famer to being a first ballot, win a second championship, be the Super Bowl MVP.
Yes.
Then I don't care what Phillip Rivers has or doesn't have, or Matt Ryan does or doesn't have.
Right.
Then your place is secured.
More will be forgiven if they get Matthew right presenting the Super Bowl MVP trophy, and when they get it right when they're presenting him in Canton.
All right. I don't even want to talk about the Cardinals.
Let's go. Put the pads on.
we got to talk about the Cardinals, I guess.
Yes.
But, real quick.
Respect the Cardinals. Trey McBride is a problem.
It's not about them, though.
He's a problem. You have to respect him. You do. There's another guy you have to defend. But I get your point. But, I mean, they are another team that's coming to beat you. Yes.
And Higgins, too, because you saw Atlanta go all in on stopping McBride, and he went and got his. 45-17 was the final in Week 14. Wilson was a problem. The Cardinals, for the back half of the season, have not had a running game. They lead the league in passing attempts, so you know who you got to stop and where.
Absolutely. And I'm with you. It's not about them. It's about how you play, but you have to respect your next opponent. But I am expecting this defense to come out with a lot of fire, and the opposite of how you started this game. You were that close to taking over the football game, and you just couldn't get it away from them. So play like you've already seized momentum and then build on that. And offensively, again, I told you about this. If they've already had the superhero Ghost Rider, but that's what Puka looks like when he's on the field. He looks like he's literally on fire. Feed that. Absolutely. I think everything in this offense should go through him. You said 4 games from a Super Bowl. I'm thinking how many targets? 15. That's 60 targets. Let me see you tackle Puka Nacua 60 times on the way to Levi Stadium.
And I say 4 excluding this weekend, not because it doesn't matter. I hope it matters a ton. I'm just saying win or lose this weekend, stakes or no stakes this Sunday, you get to the playoffs and you're 4 away.
Healthy, 1 month of football for all the marbles. There's not another team in football I would take outside of LA.
Any Arizona thoughts from you, bud?
Yeah, just kind of like you said, I think, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, obviously you have to respect Michael Wilson too. I think he went for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns it was in the first meeting.
Felt like 300 yards, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. And so that's somebody who has, really excelled in Arizona's wide receiver 1 role with Marvin Harrison Jr. being hurt. Those guys are both problems, especially as that passing game has become increasingly relied upon for their offense. And so, come out with the necessary urgency and all will be right.
JB, you've got me sweating in here, bro. Yeah, come on.
Well,
Let's
prepare some New Year's resolutions for the Rams because that's where I'm going after I take care of just a little bit of housekeeping, something that probably nobody cares about except me. But I always watch like place finishers as we go into Week 18 because whether the Rams are 2nd or 3rd in the division is to be determined, and that'll impact 3 games on next year's schedule because you're going to host the AFC East like place finisher. That could be the Bills or the Dolphins next year. You're going to host the NFC North like place finisher. That could still be Packers, Lions, or Vikings. There's a lot to be decided there. And then going to the NFC South, it still could be Carolina, Tampa, or Atlanta.
Okay.
So we'll sort through some of that in terms of next year's schedule by the end of Sunday.
I hope you get Miami. That would be better. The other divisions, they're all good. Right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to contradict you, but I hope you get Buffalo. Because that means you finish 2nd in the West.
There you go again. You got me again. See? That's twice.
All right. New Year's resolutions. It's that time of year. It's 2026 for lots of people by the time they watch or listen to this show. If you were putting yourself in the Rams' cleats, what would be some of the things you're resolved to in the new year? And by the new year, I'm not talking like long-term 26. I'm talking about the next month.
You're not going to say I'm thankful for Kevin Dotson, are you?
No.
Just making sure. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. What's your resolution?
Urgency. I mean, I've already talked about it a few times throughout our conversation, but again, especially just with how things started in your most recent game, hopefully the playoffs approaching quickly brings that out if it didn't already, but that would be my resolution or word is work ethic, style of play, whatever you want that to look like, having the necessary urgency with what the circumstances require.
I like how you said I resolved not to start games flat. That would be something. And I guess depth-wise and how you construct a football team, I like what you've done with the secondary. I like how you're using the secondary. I think you have to when you can mix and match. But if you have a chance to bolster certain positions, I think I would.
My overarching thought here is right your wrongs. That's the resolution. Philadelphia, Carolina, Seattle, San Francisco. You won't get all of them. Hopefully you get 3 out of 4. And the way that I would like to see them go about doing it, or I think they have to be resolved to accomplish it, figure out 3rd and 4th down and short. It's been a problem. It's been a consistent issue. They've converted a ton of 4th downs. But I was reminded again in Atlanta that when it comes to 3rd and 4th down and short, those middle runs have been an issue. And so whether it's playing bully ball and blowing teams off the ball, or it's getting more creative with your 3rd and 4th down calls, I don't think you can get to where you're trying to go unless you clean that up.
Fair enough.
Yeah?
Yeah, totally. End around game. Put it in Stafford's hand.
I mean, that's always there,
Yeah.
the jet sweep to Puka. The other thing I thought is, to me, target share, hopefully, in the postseason looks like this. Puka 1, Devontae 2, T. Ferg 3. I think those are your 3 best passing weapons, and I would say leverage the daylights out of it.
Especially that number 1. Yeah, feed that. I still don't know how he got his hands on that one that wasn't a catch. That was impossible. Huh?
Hand
I just and he still caught it. He was out of bounds. But
He sure did.
Good Lord, wow.
And the last one, I think, Stu, you said this a little bit earlier. I'm going to double down on it. Do not expect any help from anyone wearing stripes. Every team in this league every week sends clips in, says this should have been called, this should not have been called, why was this called? No one leaves any NFL game being like, great job, ref, we got it perfect. Do not leave anything to chance. Do not leave any opponent margin. That's kind of my final
I like
resolution.
that. Yes. I think you know exactly what you're up against from here on out.
Well, it's like Sean McVay said, like, they're not victims. What's the victim mentality going to do for you in that moment?
Nothing.
Yep.
Yes.
Anything else before we go?
No. Just excited. I can't wait to see what happens this Sunday. And like I said, for those people that are, I guess, writing this team off because they may have to go on the road to win a playoff game, okay, when they come back with a W, I want to see you.
I said it to you already today, but if you want to have some fun, go look for receipts in your inbox from the winter of 2021 after the Rams lost to San Francisco in the finale at SoFi Stadium.
Yeah.
Go remind yourself some of the things that people were feeling and saying about that team. I bet it's similar to right now.
You know who knows? Indiana over here. He takes, he
What's
will go confront you.
What's the Hoosiers equivalent of Roll Tide? What's our parting rallying cry here for you, Stu?
I don't know. Everybody always says, who's yours? So, I don't know. That's like the standard thing. But
Don't you ever do that again.
why do you think I even hesitated to begin with?
I like it. Good luck, Stu. Enjoy that. It's going to be a special experience, even if they do rain on your parade.
Oh, I can't wait. It'll be a bucket list experience for sure. I've only been for a formerly Pac-12 game, but it'll be fun to be there and see my alma mater playing.
It'd be cool to have some company there in Pasadena, right?
There
With
you
fond
go.
memories.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
welcome. See,
Thank you.
Yes, you'll see my footprints.
All right, a reminder that even though the regular season is winding down, we're going to be with you here on Between the Horns throughout the postseason, as always presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. For Stu and DeMarco, I'm JB Long, wishing you a very safe, healthy, enjoyable New Year's Eve, and all the best to come in 2026.